Hey guys, welcome back to Lark's Brain Needle. My name is Jess, and today we are going to be making a sunglass holder, or eyeglass, or reading glass, whatever. This is super simple, super easy, has a little drawstring with it, and so let's get started. So what you'll need for this is a rope, cording, ribbon, piece of binding that you have, whatever you want to use as the pull ties. So this is just some clearance ribbon cording that I got around Christmas time. So you'll need 22 inches of this. And then you'll also need your inner fabric, which I'm going to be using Velveteen, just so that it doesn't scratch my glasses. You could always use just regular cotton. It's up to you. So this is 18 inches by 5 inches. And then your outer fabric. So this is also going to be 18 inches by 5 inches. So let's get started. What you want to do first is have your inner fabric, or your outer fabric and your inner fabric right sides up, and then you'll take whichever fabric you want to do. I'm taking my inner fabric and I'm putting it right sides together on top of my outer fabric. So since I'm using Velveteen, it does slip quite a bit. So I'm just going to take some pins and just kind of roughly pin it around the edges. It's still going to slip once I start sewing it, but hopefully not too much. I don't know. This stuff is just slippery no matter what. Let's go ahead and sew. We're just going to sew a 1/4 inch seam allowance all the way around. We're going to leave one side, so like one of these short sides, open, that way you can flip it out. Alright, so once you have it sewn, just go ahead and snip off all of the little tails of thread. Alright, so as you can see with my fabric, it is still a little wonky, just because it's a Velveteen and it gets a little crazy. But that is totally fine because we can just iron it and it'll all be somewhat flat. Not all the way, really somewhat. Alright, so we're just going to cut off the corners of our fabrics here. That way when we go to flip it inside out, it's not going to be super bunched. So now you just reach in. Oh, it's all toasty. It's like a big sock. It's all toasty. And we're just going to pull it out. So we're just going to hit it with the iron again. That way everything is all laid flat. Alrighty, so now we have our 18 by 4.5 inches, because we just did a 1/4 inch seam. You can always make your starting out fabrics bigger if you've got bigger sunglasses. The 18 by 5 fits these Ray-Bans, but it's still a little bit tight, so you could always take it, instead of 5 inches, you could do 6 inches. That way you have a little bit more wiggle room. So we're going to take our fabric and kind of I don't know if you can see it, I'm just kind of pushing it in on the side that we flipped everything out on. And it's really hard because, again, the Velveteen likes to fly. Alright, so now that we've got that closed off, we're just going to run it through the machine. That way we can get a nice end on there. Now I did backstitch on my beginning and my ending on there, just so that it wasn't going to come apart. Alright, and so now we get to put in the casings. So that's how I have my thread, or cording, whatever you want to put in here, actually in here, so it can get all nice and tight and zipped up. So for that, if you've got your cording that's like just this thin, you don't need much space, but definitely make sure that you have enough space to where it's not going to catch when you try and open it or close it. So for this, I think I only did like an inch. So we're just going to have our outside fabric facing up. That way we can just fold down about an inch on each side. So let's go ahead and get that sewn up. Alright, so now we got those two sides sewn up. Let's go ahead and get all of the extra threads up. Now if you don't have cording or ribbon or anything like that, but you have like Velcro or like a magnetic clasp, like anything that you want to actually close this thing with, you could totally do that. And like you could still do the casings on the ends, and then you just put like your Velcro here and on the other side too. That way once you've sewn up the two sides, then it just kind of Velcros on there. It's totally up to you on how you want to actually close it up. So now that we've got our casings on either side done, we can flip it to the outsides up and close it up. Make sure the tops are matching up here. That way it's not all like weird. So now since we've got the velveteen on the outside, it's going to be a little bit tricky to get it to run through the machine, but just takes patience and it'll get done. Also, when you go to start to sew these sides, sew below your casings. So you don't start up here, you start right down here, right? Right where it starts. Alright, now that we've got that done, go ahead and trim off all of your little extra pieces here. Right, and we can go ahead and turn this right side out. Just reach in there and just push it. Now definitely make sure you go towards the corners too and just kind of push them out a little bit. You can also use like a chopstick if you can't get your fingers in there. So now we've got our little pouch. Now I just need to close it up. So the way that I put my string into my pouch was that inside it looks like this. Okay, so let me show you how I did that. I used a safety pin because I always have safety pins in my pin cushion, which is also another video on my channel. And just tie it or like somehow attach it to one of your ends. And then we're just going to go through. And it's just like putting an elastic into pajama pants, which is another video that I have on here. And you just kind of keep going. So now you've got it through one side. And you're going to take it and you're just going to keep going around. Alright, so what you can do is you can stop here and just have it to where it's on one side and you just tighten it like that. My problem with this is that if you don't put a like bead or a big enough knot on your two ends, they're just gonna start going like this and they're just gonna pop out and you're just gonna have to redo it again. So I take wherever the safety pin is again and go right back through where our other end is. Now it's going to be a little bit harder depending on how big of a casing you did, but just keep working it through until it gets out the other side. Just like that. Right, and then you can take off your safety pin and oh, there. And now you can put in your sunglasses or eyeglasses, and you've got a nice little pouch to where they're not going to get scratched and they're not going to get ruined. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button.